Are we in the room?
We are
Kids.
in the room.
I love kids.
No,
That's getting
Okay.
cut and repeated on a loop. Put that on a poster.
Brilliant.
Hello and welcome to the Steve Kayla Show. This episode is K for kids. Kevin and I are parents. George is not, so we're going to get the other perspective. Are kids the best thing in the world? Is George glad that he doesn't have them? We're going to be talking about kids, the highs and the lows, and everything in between, parenting in general. Before we start, I just want to say thank you to our sponsors, Graham's Windows and Doors at grahamswindowsanddoors.co.uk. They are Yeovil's very best provider of windows, doors, and conservatories. Thank you, James. Thank you, Sherelle. We really appreciate it. That's grahamswindowsanddoors.co.uk. And thanks also... Sorry?
Who else?
Well, let me tell you, Kevin. Thanks also to Paramount Prizes. Thanks, that was necessary. I wouldn't have got there otherwise.
You haven't said it 1,000 times this year.
And thanks also to Paramount Prizes at paramountprizes.co.uk. Paramount Prizes are an online competition website. Go to paramountprizes.co.uk. Get yourself a bargain. That's paramountprizes.co.uk. Now, on with the show. Now, gentlemen, we are back with the Alphabet show, the
We
Alphabet series. I've been on a bit of a tangent myself recently. I don't really know what the fuck I've been doing.
Nobody does.
I've been on a sort of adventure, my own adventure, doing things, meeting people in random places and recording those interviews.
Who have you met?
I did Sheridan at the Barolo.
Yes.
Started a new series called Barolo Nights.
Mm-hmm.
I've been...
It's just an excuse for him to go on the lash.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that worked hand in hand. That was nice. I've also been barreling through the Bible. So that's good. But I've changed that now. So the Bible series is a separate show on Spotify.
Okay.
So it doesn't pollute the feed. The audience...
Emphasis on pollute.
Yes, the audience did not follow me.
No,
on
well,
my...
Oh, I really enjoyed the first episode.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah.
because you were in it, weren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. And the audience did not come with me
Okay.
on this particular journey.
Okay.
You're looking for a new audience for that. And I feel
Yes.
you may find it.
Well, it's on a separate feed now, so it's there to do its own thing. And the
Surrounded by-
series we're doing now, the Alphabet series, is we're going A through Z, or Z in this country? Z.
Zed.
The fact you have to ask.
I've been Americanized. All my shows have been
Ah,
Americanized.
Okay.
So we're going A through Z and talking about every single aspect of the human condition. A for anger, B for beauty, all that sort of thing. And today we're on K for kids.
I mean, we missed a bit of an obvious K. I'm a little bit upset.
Killing
Kevin.
children. Kevin. Oh, Kevin. Yeah,
Yeah,
of
there's more
course.
than one of
yeah.
them.
You are an enigma.
There's lots of Kevins, famous Kevins.
Kevin McAllister.
I'm named after one.
Which one are you named after?
Kevin
Costner.
Keegan.
Oh.
Kevin Keegan.
Yeah.
Ah, right,
It was,
right,
it
okay.
was the 70s.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the man.
It was.
So we'll start with you.
Oh.
Kids. How are things going with the kids? Now, you're an interesting one because you've got kids aged 60 to to infancy. You have hundreds of children. How are they going?
I have 4. Yeah,
Mhm.
and they are in their early 20s, and they are 4 years old.
Jesus.
Yes. They are an interesting bunch.
Mm-hmm.
All girls, because
That's right.
karma likes
Mhm.
to punish
It's a good thing
the
you're not.
who are bad.
It's a good thing you're not a 18th century farmer.
That's very true.
Although you could always wed them.
Yeah, sell them off.
Yeah, you always
Yeah,
sell them.
It would have
or-
been
yeah.
easier.
Yeah.
Wed them to
Far
local
more
farms.
beneficial to actually trade them for cows. And
Yeah.
things.
You'd have plows and all
Yeah,
sorts.
whereas now I just have to find someone
That's right.
mental enough to put up with them.
Mm-hmm. I see what you're saying.
Mhm.
So what's the difference now? So now you've inexplicably are parenting again. So what's Harper, 4?
Yes.
So your daughter Harper is now 4. So what's the difference parenting now versus when your oldest daughter was younger?
Money, I have a lot more of it. Patience, I have a lot more of that.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I don't have the energy to keep up with.
Swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, you lose one, gain another. So
Mhm.
whereas I could run around with Soph all day long, which ironically Soph didn't want to do.
Oh, just wasted that energy.
Yeah. The OG3
Mhm.
were a lazy bunch of toads and still are.
Mm-hmm.
They slept all the time. Like car journeys, we'd get out of the estate asleep. And we
Bizarre.
just sort of come to either at McDonald's or wherever I
Mhm.
stopped. Yeah, they still do that now. They still just sleep.
Sweet.
They have an innate ability to
Mhm.
sleep for long periods of time,
Mm-hmm.
which I think they get from their mother. Harper, not so much.
And that's rougher later in life, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. As I've hit my old man time clock, where I'm sort of like asleep by 10 and up by 5.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, so is she.
Yeah, I see that. That does take adjusting. It'd be interesting now to see. So, George, me and Kevin have often talked about our kids on this show.
Oh yes, our glowing reports to him with
I've got
bags under our eyes.
I've got one son, lovely Leo. Has listening to our experiences
made you want to spread your seed?
Want to spread your seed?
Shockingly, no.
It's strange.
It's done the
Kelsey Priest.
absolute opposite. And my experience with children and with parents in particular is that they never give me any good stories. I only ever hear negatives.
But it's a shame, isn't it? Because it is probably the best thing on earth.
Sure.
It is.
So you say.
You do not realise the good bits until later.
Yeah, I don't need
when
to
they're
vent,
suddenly
really.
a grumbly teenager and you're like, God, I miss when you were when you were little and you know, they idolise you.
Oh.
Nobody likes you more than your own little
Yeah.
child.
Yeah.
Like nobody.
And plus what you remember is you're biologically pre-programmed to love them, and the love is obsessive and all-consuming and scary, and like the thing with Leo I always say is it is like we've been, Lord knows we've been challenged with that boy, right? With just his health and all sorts of different things. But I wouldn't swap a second of it, because it's just, even when he was really poorly and we hadn't slept for months, I still managed to find these moments with him where we just cuddling, and it's so peaceful. And he looks at me like I'm fucking Superman.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He'll find out later.
Oh, it's sort of going to be crashing down. That's a generational thing, sadly, in this family. It'll all come crashing down. But I just think it is rewarding in a sense of the hardest things in the world to do are the things that give you the most sense of accomplishment and warmth and love, and that's what you get from having a kid. It's amazing.
Where I would say some of the best things for parenting, where you see it later, is if you ever watch like the Olympics or something like that, and the Brit wins the medal, they're crying, and you're like, oh, that's really nice.
Yeah.
Then they pan to the parent,
Yeah.
and everyone in the room loses it. 'Cause you're like, oh my god, that level of pride in one life, because people don't explain to you how much of your time you will lose, and some people are happy about it, some people aren't, but to be honest, you get out what you put in.
Yeah, that's why time of life is important. Leo, for me, came along at the exact right time. I've spent the last 10 years philandering around Europe, being disruptive, being a nightmare, and then managed to balance myself out a little bit.
Now you stop philandering.
Yeah, I stopped philandering for the most part.
The rest of it still carries
I'll
on.
never stop fully philandering, But Leo came at the right time, because I was ready to, properly love Misha, and then properly love him and give them the time that I need. It's incredible, really. It's fucking. Yeah.
And you're kind of one of the first people that I've met that actually gives me that information on a sort of regular basis. Everyone else that is a parent is maybe it's because of distance, and obviously we see each other quite a lot, we communicate quite a lot, and we do this show, which means we have to communicate quite a lot.
Right, yeah.
Whereas other people, it's normally just grumblings.
The show notes are, I'm fucking knackered, he's doing my head in.
Yeah.
I'm a kid.
And I have brief conversations with people at work. How was your weekend? Oh, just ran around after the kids the whole weekend.
Yeah.
None of that's attractive to me. From
But
the
it's saying, because
outside,
I bet the context that is, I bet the unspoken part of that is, actually it was great. We went on a family weekend, and I love playing with my son all weekend. But
you only ever hear the negatives.
But for some reason, we do tend to summarize it as a nation as fucking hell, kids. And
I think what it is you don't get enough time. It's whether you've got kids or not. I mean, I'm sure you find weekends where you don't feel like you had enough time to either relax or get your head round it or recharge or do whatever it is you're supposed to do in the weekend. Obviously you have less time with children, so it can seem like it's not that you're cross with the children, you just haven't got the time. But you should take some solace in the fact that the reason you don't have any time is because you're actually a good parent.
Yes.
Whereas if you have children and you had a lot of time to do your own shit,
You're doing something
you're
wrong.
not parenting.
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I also envy you slightly, but you're not parenting.
And that is part of the journey. Is it's fucking exhausting, and it's fucking hard, but then
You still can't sell it to you.
No, it's not.
But on the days where it's hard, like say the days when, I remember one time when after his operation, when he slept for days, he was poorly, then he started coughing up blood, and we thought something had ruptured in him. It was gross. But even days like that, where everything's against you. He just wants to be curled up here. 'Cause he's safe with me, and he gives me a little kiss on the cheek or whatever, and then it's okay. It's all right. And then, if you've got a good relationship, that makes I couldn't fathom solo parenting. You know what I mean? I couldn't fathom doing
It's
it on
not
my
fun.
own. Yeah.
I mean, I did it with teens, so it wasn't actually that bad.
I suppose they're a little bit more sort of self-sufficient in.
They were self-sufficient to a certain extent, but because they were lazy toads, my biggest thing was getting them out of bed, and more to the point, making sure they got back in it. Because they go to their rooms and do stuff, and I'd be like, right, night, girls. Fall asleep about sort of 10:30, 11 o'clock, even 12 o'clock the weekend. Get up 2 a.m. to go for a pee, and you're like, what the fuck is that noise? And you walk in there, and they're wide awake doing something. You're like, no! And I remember Abigail doing it once, and I got up in the morning at 5 to go to work, and she come past the other way, and she was just looking at me, and I was like, tell me you've been to bed. And she was like, I've been in my room. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I look forward to that. I look forward to when he's a teenager, and he's got his own sort of life and world that I'll just desperately try and be a
And
part
it's
of.
a different life and world to the one you've had, obviously. My generation closer to yours in terms of it was similar. You guys still went out and about. The
90s, man. Yeah.
Yeah, we were out and about, running around, doing stupid shit. We came home like now. We wouldn't be home yet. Sun's still out. Absolutely not. Be hungry, but we wouldn't be home yet. Whereas now, my nephew, for instance, is not that fussed about going out.
No, they're not, are they?
No.
It's a
If he
generational
wants to speak to his mates,
inside is so much better now.
yes, he sees his mates but again, like he sees his mates at football, like I used to, and then he'll go home and he goes on his game and he speaks to his mates and whatever, and that's cool. My mates came to my house, or I went to theirs, and we were in the same room on a LAN thing or something stupid, or like you said, you walk around and you find the bikes. There they are. Because obviously we couldn't ring or meet you at text, none of that business. So they have lost some of the fun aspects we had, and it's made them different and weird.
But they've got porn and Call of Duty now.
I don't think it's important that my 14-year-old has access to the level of porn that he does.
It's important to know about the world.
to me.
It's very important.
Living on my own.
Yeah, I worry about stuff like that. I worry about porn. What do you think about porn in general?
I think it's terrible.
I think it's a literal cancer.
Yes.
And I think it's so dangerous because
From a girl's perspective, in your head roughly what's going to happen in all of it. It's all very sort of similar. How much of that have you ever done with an actual partner? It's not
for free. Yeah.
There's a certain, you know what I mean? And you got 14, 15-year-old lads who think that their girlfriend is going to do
all of that.
Yeah.
Oh, she's going to tie herself up like a pretzel that me
Yeah.
in her bum, and she's
Yeah.
That's the one anime that I watch. She's going to turn into a squid.
Yeah, she hasn't turned into an octopus and
She's gonna
fucked it with all the tentacles, you weirdo.
Yeah, I know the one.
Never should have told you about that.
It's still one of the
I
funniest
shared
things.
that with you in intimacy. in
We were
privacy.
shit-faced. You shared it with the entire table.
I know.
I think you forget sometimes when you talk to me, you talk to everyone because you're like, oh, yeah, I fucking love hentai. And everyone's like, what? And then you start talking about squids and fucking bits, and we were all like,
Yeah, well, that is what happens.
That is what happens.
Interesting. Right, so would anyone like to hear some facts about... Don't do that. I'm never going to be able to watch it again.
I was trying to think of the other thing where I can properly ruin it for you, but it won't come to mind.
Steve suddenly got a semi.
Yeah. Anyway, boys, got time to wrap things up.
Just going to do some editing.
Don't fucking say ubu, Kevin. Oh, God. I'm never watching that shit again now.
Right, anyway, back to kids.
Would you like to hear some facts about
Sure
kids,
thing.
I guess?
Kid facts. Whoa.
Just-
We're not going to talk about TV presenters and kids, are we? I hope.
Well, that's an interesting avenue to go down, I suppose. Why are so many famous people paedophiles? What the hell is going on there? Because it is strange, isn't it? It's strange. People in positions of power, the rate of people in power of them who are paedophiles is actually fucking staggering.
Do you think it's just people in power, or do you think it's because they're highlighted, but actually the rate is much higher?
I think
than
they're more
people think?
successful because the position of power allows
Yeah.
them to get away with it.
But do you think the general population is actually weirder than we
So
think?
if like one of the, I don't know, a boy band member or popular TV guy tried grooming a young 14, 15-year-old girl, they're probably going to be successful. If Mr. Squidfingers over here tries it, they can be like, okay, old man, fuck off.
yeah.
Like,
That's true. I've
Yeah.
been very unsuccessful. Very successful. They very rarely go for, hey, do you want to come around to the garage? Do you want to come around to the garage?
Do you want to
Look
come
at a
round and
podcast?
record a podcast with me?
But maybe it's a mentality thing where you get to. I think this with footballers sometimes and politicians. You get into such a position of power that it corrupts you a little bit because you think I can do anything. I can get. There's people around me
They're not
protecting me all
told
the
no.
time. Yeah, exactly.
by anyone around them
Also, you just get
in
a
any
habit
way.
Of, you get in the habit of being able to do anything, and people would just protect you. You got good solicitors, good lawyers, good yes men and no men, good PR teams. Maybe these people they're all fucking grotesque perverts.
So
who think,
So you're confirming that actually there's more perverts than we think. It's
Oh,
just
of course there is.
Not of them,
Yeah.
not all of them
course
have
there is.
access to the resources that they would need.
the children. To call them resources is a bit callous, George. So anyway, where were we?
Right,
So-
we're going to cut all of that. Let's get something useful for the podcast, and not something that's going to
Yes.
get us fucking arrested.
Male babies are born with as much testosterone as a 25-year-old man, and after birth, testosterone levels plummet until puberty. I didn't know that. Do you know that?
Oh, so,
I didn't know that.
so I need to start injecting fetuses directly into my blood system.
Yeah, if you just fucking
Gains.
become a Hollywood actor,
Yeah.
suck the blood straight from a child's arm.
Suck the fetus dry. Question for you then. With your son,
Go ahead.
do you find that it's a bit easier for me because I have children of different ages. So and also about my nieces and nephews again. There's like a whole step down all the way through to Harper. That they're very different now in terms of education level. In that the words her vocabulary, Harper's vocabulary, is insane. Unfortunately, it's a little Americanized. I know where it's come from.
Yeah,
Not
YouTube.
from me. But do you find that it's difficult because you're like, I want them to carry on because that's teaching her far better than I am? Or do we pull it back and turn her into a retard like her dad?
Well, this is something I take Leah's education really seriously, and that when he's a little bit older, I will be a part of that.
I can't wait till you do maths with him for the first time and you don't
Not
understand
maths.
a
That's
fucking
not my
word of
strength.
it.
My strength is no. I'd hinder
Argue
him.
with the RE teacher up at school. Well, I did a podcast on the Bible, I have you know.
Well, that's religious education, but yeah, stuff like history, English, literature. Those are my real strengths.
Yeah.
So I will be making sure he gets a good, informed, and how to think, and philosophy, and what the world. I'll be there to give him an education alongside his school education, so he develops a passion for love, passion for
Because
learning.
I don't think it's the school provides the learning aspect too much anymore. I mean, it does when they get older, but the younger bit is just about them socializing with other children, really. And I think like it, because they're so much happier at nursery and stuff where they're playing with people and they're doing that stuff. They love school. They come home, and even primary school, kids are still happy then. As soon as they hit secondary school, it's like someone just pulls the life out of them. They come home one day, you're like, all right, yeah. All right.
Oh no!
It's
Forget
this,
that.
yeah.
Sad.
It's all through. Even Soph, who didn't really like school, she used to be like, "Oh, hi, I like something," and she used to go. As soon as she hit secondary school, she was just like, "Nah."
Those kids are motherfuckers, aren't they? Kids are horrible. I wouldn't want to go
Well, I
to school
think
now.
the educational system is broken as well.
Yeah.
I think
But
yeah.
that's a different subject, maybe.
Yeah.
Me too.
I wouldn't want to be a teacher. I'm sure because I had to redo my maths for the apprenticeship thing I was doing, and an 18-year-old apprentice said, "Keith's a really good teacher." I was like, "Yeah, he is." But I think you'll find the teachers you had at school that you think were dicks are actually really good teachers. If
yeah.
you went back
But
and had
you were the
them now,
dick.
Yeah, yeah.
but you were a dick. I know this
I've
because
had that.
I was a dick.
Yeah, I've had
so
that.
was, and I was sat next to the other 6 dicks.
Yeah.
And there was another group of them over there.
Yeah.
And the girls were dicks if they felt like it. And that was like 3/4 of the class. If we didn't want to listen, this woman's up there fucking writing away doing this, and we're there like throwing stuff at her.
Throwing Jaffa cake oranges
Yeah.
on the fucking whiteboard.
Well, I'd never waste food, but you.
Yeah. Anyway,
No, but that's one of the worst bits of kids is you want the best for them, but you don't get to spend as much time like you said about the weekend. We complain, but that aspect of it happens. I miss loads because I am the primary earner. I can't really. You either have to plan your time off where we say, right, we'll both take the half term off.
Yeah.
But because we've taken the half term off, we can't afford to go anywhere. Because the old Centre Parks holiday thing where it's like £300, you see half term appear £3,000.
Yeah.
Like it's a nightmare. So I end up working weekends as well. You start having to do things all the time, and you get home, and I'm sure. Well, you maybe not so much because you work later. So do you tell Misha like, oh, he did this today, and you're like,
Oh, I've been very blessed there.
and that's happened with all four of them. I've missed stuff of all. The only time I really was when I hurt myself. I kept some of the money for a year, and I went to college, and I went to every single nativity play. I took them in the morning, I picked them up in the afternoon, I did all that, and I had I got involved with their life as much as I could for a year.
George, if you can give your younger self, your 6-year-old self was here, and he would listen to advice that you give, what 3 pieces of advice would you give your younger self about growing up and how to approach life?
Pay attention at school. Be true to yourself and don't listen to other people about your appearance or your intelligence or anything like that. And I don't know a third one. Circle back to me.
Kevin?
Wait,
But what you tell him this, I'm going to do some lunges because my hip really hurts.
okay.
Please, go ahead.
Yeah, he's right. That's the one. Obviously, pay attention to school. I would have I'm screwed anyway. My brain doesn't work like that. But it would have been nice for me to have the confidence to say,
Yeah.
"Fuck off,"
Yeah.
and just get my head down and do whatever. I mean, the thing is, if you sent me back with my working brain now to be 6 years old and work your way through, you'd know what to do in the situation.
Yeah.
But there are no, apart from them, which is, it is just work at school and ignore everyone.
Yeah.
Just ignore them.
But also, the advice should go to your parents more than you, if you could. If I could, I wouldn't talk to my 6-year-old self. I'd speak to my parents about my 6-year-old self, about the best way to sort of push him and guide him.
Yeah.
Because actually, the reason, because you've got a good brain, but only for stuff that you're interested in.
Yeah.
And school is interesting. It's just that it's piped into your brain in a way that is just, okay, here's this information, I'll write it down to everyone to study, But really, you want someone who's, I remember we had a history teacher who was going, and he was so passionate, and I was like, whoa. And a geography teacher who I was like, oh my god, this guy loves what he does, and it sinks in.
Yeah.
What we need is people who, that's why I want to take a hand in Leo's education to, not, obviously he'd be schooled, but at home with me, I'll be going, so what you learn about? Oh, that's interesting. How about some Napoleon for your ass? And I'll be able to teach him about real history, real controversial characters.
Are you worried he might just look at you and go, shut up?
No, because it's not the subject, it's the teacher. You know what I mean? If
I agree with
Just
that.
because, I totally agree with that, but you're also his parent. And kids have a habit of going, oh, Dad, I don't care.
Yeah, but this would be in a classroom setting. This would be like, we've got a room, you're on a chair, I'm here by what?
Oh, you're going to make him go to school when he gets home?
Yeah, this is proper lessons. I'm not talking about like just
He's definitely going to tell you to fuck off.
No, yeah. Mind that children always
no one is under my roof.
Children always rebel against their parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? And what's worse is it will be you, because in most normal, I don't know if you know this, but when you see people with their children are like, he's such or she is such a little shit, and everyone's like, been great for me. It's fantastic for me. The mum usually is the place they feel the safest.
Yeah, okay.
So they act the fuck out. You're Papa Bear, aren't you? Because you've been the primary. So it's possible.
Oh, bro, yeah, but then
he might.
We just do it anyway. This is important. This will be as important as school.
I think you might lose. You might gain him for a bit. Like, so the 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, super interested.
Oh, yeah, but that's fine.
Lose him 13, 14, 15.
I wouldn't do it when he's a
and you
teenager.
might get him back.
I wouldn't do it when he's a teenager.
He might come back to you later teens, though, because they suddenly hit this point where they become completely different again. You're like, oh, some adulthood's kicking in now.
No, what I want to do is I want to get him about 8 or 9 and just tell him what this... And
They
teach
love
him
school then.
A really good foundation of knowledge and not like I don't want to be a fucking historian, but I want to be as interested in characters, tell these stories
give
in a way.
it passion, because
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't get a lot of passion.
You know
from
the
stuff.
meme though from the History
Yeah.
Channel where the guy with the crazy hair, he's like alien.
Yeah.
Whenever you start doing
That's
it,
what
it's
we're
the
gonna
only
get.
guy
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can see.
Yeah, well, listen. That guy knows his stuff. They're here, and they've been here all along. And but yeah, that is my ambition for him, is to just if we can just say our kids are smarter and more sensible than us,
Definitely.
then we've ticked all the boxes necessary to do that. Do you think?
I think it's going to be harder to make our kids smarter because they're going to be smarter than us. The level of information they have access to,
But that's the
we
problem.
did not. Oh, granted, it's
Figuring
not
out
all,
what
yeah,
that information is and
it's also-
passing that
So
information.
they have a different lesson than we did.
Yeah.
They have the information is available. Like I say to my stepdaughter now, she goes to ask me a question. I'm like, she's like, yeah, tap tap tap, and there is the official proper answer for most of the stuff that she's asking. It's easy now. I know there's lots of misinformation and bits, but I don't think they're as world-wise street smart as we were,
No.
because they're not out and about.
Yeah.
They're not like sometimes my stepdaughters just come leaps and bounds with her schoolwork. Brilliant now, but she'll say things or do things sometimes, and I think, well, of course she doesn't. She doesn't go out. She doesn't go out. Like she does go out with friends sometimes, but they're not like we were, where we're all out and we were all definitely doing things we weren't supposed to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's only, I know it sounds silly, but you only learn street smart stuff by doing stupid shit and getting caught.
They'll find a way to do stupid shit.
Yeah.
It'll just be new stupid shit.
Yeah,
So,
but it is, it's not like we do. So I worry sometimes that some of the basic bits of life will pass them by just because they're not exposed to it.
Well, then that's where it becomes our responsibility then to expose them to these things and to do whatever you can.
Come with me to the pub.
Yeah, or just encourage things that you think I'm worried they're going to miss this or miss that. That's where I make a note and say, if like with Leo, we've course corrected. He's turned out exactly like me in his personality, and he copies everything I do and say, and that's just really funny. But socially, is a bit of a situation. So
He's getting arrested.
Whoa. I think more like nursery. It's just he's just a little bit much sometimes, I think. So
It's very gregarious.
but the way we overcorrect that is by overexposing him to lots of other kids, because then he learns quickly. That kid doesn't like that. And when he gets home, I then say, how does it go? Did you talk to such and such today? And he goes, such and such didn't really want to talk to me. Why is that? Well, because I said, what sound does a cat make? He said meow, and then I fired. Which is hilarious. But it's not hilarious. It's not hilarious.
Boy's
at
going to go
nursery.
far. He's got massive hands and he's just got the best sense of. He has got remember that the meme picture of the kid like that? Fucking, yeah. Leo's are bigger than that. Just fucking big old fists.
All right. So let's
Are they now proportional to his body, or was that
still frightening, really, an aspect. So let's do a couple
he's
of
a
these facts.
big kid? Is Leo? Isn't he?
He's a
Is he?
big-
Is he
yeah,
bigger
yeah.
than the rest of his
Yeah,
classmates?
yeah, he's a big boy, very big
Which
boy.
is weird because you and Misha are not really, are you? Misha's family
I
aren't.
was when I was younger, and then smoking and drugs really stopped.
Just
me
you
about
just went
6'1".
no. There was no crest to that.
Yeah,
peak.
that's right. Sadly, I was my own worst enemy there. A child's sense of privacy usually begins around 8 or 9 years old, so wanting to do their own thing. That's interesting. You know. I question
that
the
comes
wording
from-
of this next
Oh
sentence.
God.
A child learns to pump on a swing around 4 or 5 years old.
God, I'm sure
Or
mine was
earlier,
a lot
if you're
later.
Yeah, yeah. Dan Birchie is much earlier than that. Yeah.
On a
These are
swing.
more like
I've never heard. Surely you swing on a swing.
Swing on a swing.
But
yeah, swing on a swing.
Who
Yeah.
pumps a swing?
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, the verbiage there was unusual.
yeah,
Pumped on a swing.
Pump a swing?
Oh yeah, pumped on a swing.
you
yeah,
pump your
pumping a
legs
swing.
on a swing, but without the word "your legs."
Yeah, you didn't go. Well, where are you off to? I'm just going to go pump on the swing.
Now,
Your mum would say, "Well, get back in and knock on the door."
Harper might say that because when she can't say, she won't say "come with me." She says "pum with me." I don't know why, but it's cute. So she might say, "Oh, "pum on the swings."
But you wouldn't say that as the.
I've never in my life said "pump on the swings, lads."
Yeah.
I'm
Wow.
going to disregard everything that fucking person's written.
Really
there.
aggressive.
Pump on a swing. I'm just going to quickly go pump on the swing. What are you doing now? I'm just going down the slide.
Is,
and I'm going to go
does
pump
their
on the
name
swing.
begin with K so we can just use this episode to attack?
Attack whoever this bitch is. Yeah. Pump on the swing. I'm going on the, what are you going to do? If I'm going to go down the slide, I'm going to go pump on the swing. Oh, fuck
You
off.
slide
That's
down.
horrific.
You slide down the
You
slide.
slide down the slide, you swing on the swing. Yeah. I've just noticed
What
the
do you
list
do
of
on
them.
a seesaw?
You saw it. You see and you saw.
You see and you saw.
Hey, you seesaw, don't you? You
Yeah,
seesaw on the
suppose.
seesaw.
You pump up and down.
Need to.
Uh,
All right. Well, listen, boys. Does anyone want to ask any questions or cover anything else about kids whilst we're here?
one for you.
Hit me, big K.
Do you want or would you have?
Oh, what do I want more kids? Yes, but the problem is this. The situation is like where Misha's got a new job and she loves it. She makes good money. I start my new job in a few weeks. I'm about to make really good money, and we're both sort of busy investing.
Me and George are here for that.
But we're just invested now in we
We're
haven't got time.
collecting back taxes.
Yeah. Well, I'm paying off debt. We want to build a future that is something that neither of us had when we were growing up, and we could do that.
And it
with
gives
our
it to
two
Leo,
focus.
doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and Leo benefits. It's not like he's lonely. He's
But
surrounded by kids all the time.
I can't, obviously, made sure of that. But sometimes when I see Harper, when we take her like on holiday, I do think that's what you needed.
Yeah.
You needed a sister.
I do think that all the time. There's times where I think I go, oh, is he a little bit lonely over
But-
there? Is he like?
She's always been able to go to a nanny's for childcare. All right, I pay for it, but she still can go to a nanny's. Now, if that were two of them, it suddenly becomes a lot more difficult.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
And the
that's true.
evening stuff, when you say, "Oh, can you watch them while I go out for dinner?" It's like, yeah, of course you can, because there's two grandparents, one child,
Yeah.
and they can bounce off, do whatever. And
That's true.
when there's two of them, it gets a bit. Ugh.
We always make sure Leo's exposed constantly to other kids.
Yeah.
When he's not at nursery, we take him out with his cousins Misha got loads of mates whose boys are about the same age. So we never leave him isolated for too long, unless it's like on a Monday. Right, that's my time with him at the minute. I love just going for adventures with him and that sort of thing. But I would like another one. I want the whole brood. You know what I mean? I want the whole
I
legacy.
wanted a son.
Yeah. Yeah. well, hey, listen. You never know. You
Yes, I
never know.
do.
I mean,
I've already said if we got pregnant, and obviously she'd have to prove it was definitely mine.
Yeah, you'll just do a
Yeah.
DNA test there, wouldn't
That yes, if it will when it comes out looking like
you? Who's this Asian baby?
it would be called Jesus
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
or Jesus, however I wanted to pronounce it at the time. You'd have to miracle baby
Yeah.
because that would be ridiculous.
So,
So more
George?
kids for Stephen, maybe one day in the long run.
and George, have we toned you around on the idea of
Absolutely
I'm not.
No.
He's going to spend more money on his banana.
Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about? What is a banana?
Do you not know what the banana is?
What is a banana?
The
It's
banana's his golf.
My car.
You got a new car?
I've got two cars.
You remember when he said, I bought the golf when we were taking Mickey, who was being a little modder?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, I see.
Got
And it's
wheels
yellow.
for
And, yeah. It's yellow and it looks like a fucking banana. Cause
Oh, you started calling it banana.
No, it's
No,
called,
no, it's
it
called
is
the banana.
Oh, I see. So we haven't run you round on the idea of having kids?
No, I didn't.
No.
think we-
What is
I
it-
did not think we would.
What? No, I mean, yeah. But what is it specifically that you think? Is it because you value your time,
yeah,
and
so,
sanity,
so a lot
and
of
money?
it is I can't comprehend
Mm-hmm.
how I could have the time, the money, the energy to bring another life in that I am responsible for. I barely can do it for myself.
That's the trick. You don't.
You don't, yeah.
And that's, to be fair,
Why
that's
do you do that?
why
to
when
yourself?
people ask, oh, if you go back, you do it all again, I actually say, no, I wouldn't. I have not been a good enough father over, and, through fault of my own, no fault of my own or whatever, I am just not as maternal as some people, or paternal, sorry, as some people are. Some people are great parents. There are some people out there who just like gobs, Bluey's mum and dad, for instance.
That's right. Yeah,
The pinnacle of
very
parenting. But there are some people who are just great at it. And some people who are not. More often the ones that aren't very good are the ones that tend to have more kids. But, I'm not that good at it. I'm better now. And it definitely, that doesn't come from me being older or being better. That comes from a better partner. feel like more-
I think you'd be surprised, Kev. I think you'd be surprised at your own adequacies with
Oh,
parenting.
yeah. I don't
You're a
think you
very
should put yourself
solid
down.
human being. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are a good father, and you don't doubt that. I mean, we all do things better. There's all things that afterwards we go, I could.
They make you doubt yourself.
Yeah.
because you don't want to fail.
Yeah,
You
but
do
the reason
want
you're
to try
doubting
harder.
the reason you're doubting yourself is because you're questioning it in the first place.
Yeah,
which is healthy.
working hard
Yeah.
to be a good dad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's what a good father is, I suppose, is someone who's always trying to be good, even if you fall short of it. I mean, that's why I like it. Just literally an hour ago, I was like, fucking, I'm good at this. I'm good at this. I mean, I went upstairs, I dissolved whatever fucking blood feud he had going with his mother, and I'm
He,
actually,
when we're coming in, he's like, I've got to go lay the smack down. I was like,
yeah,
oh.
yeah, that's right. But what I did was I was sort of firm but soft, listened to him. let
He
him
walked
talk,
in, Leo
you know.
went,
Yeah.
and they
yeah.
both turned
I was
around and walked
like,
out.
Sorry, you just have the house.
Just threw food at him and shut the door.
Yeah, but I mean, but we did manage to. Every now and
It was
then,
quick.
Every now and then, I do manage to go. I go, fucking, I nailed that. That's good. But then, literally every week, I find myself going, fuck, I fucked that up. I was too. Why did I get so fucking annoyed then? Why was I so irritable? Why wasn't I there? Why was I so fucking lazy?
Do you know
did I
why?
why did I spend 2 hours on the sofa or on my phone when I could have been with him doing something?
You
and-
do stuff. I know people don't tell you, and that's one of the things of being a parent. Until afterwards, you're doing something, you're like, and you realise you've just done something that your parents did to you, because you don't realise that you subconsciously picked up how to parent from your parents. So sometimes you can be hindered from the start, and that then having a partner who had great parents helps, because they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa,
Yeah,
whoa.
yeah.
Come on, let's go the other way.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
losing your temper too quickly.
Yeah.
Because like you said, some days you just like your eyes twitch
Yeah.
and you're like,
yeah.
Luckily, I
screw this modern parenting.
Yeah, that's it. But you get a little bit like the self-awareness helps, where there's always a voice in the back of my head going, you wanker. That was just fucking. And I always make up for it. Like, say if I go, sometimes I'm just drained, and I spent an hour and a half on a sofa or something, and he's just playing the Switch or playing with his toys or whatever, and I go, come on, kid, let's go for an adventure, and then it's always fine. You always make up for it. But the key thing about parenting is that love makes it all worth it. You will, if you don't have a kid, you will never feel that. It's the most powerful thing in the universe, the most powerful love you can feel.
Don't you have pets? Oh, if he wants, we can just get a cat.
It's not that I don't. It's not that I don't. It just seems unfathomable.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
You
it's
know,
also
it seems.
also
It's
you're not
people.
you're
The
wrong.
person.
Yeah.
The person is what
Yeah.
you
And,
know
yeah.
when you're with the person. You're like, oh, yeah, absolutely,
That's
I can.
key. Yeah, you're
I
right.
can do this with, because they empower you to make you feel like you can do the thing. If you ask anyone who knew me when I was 17, 18 years old, and they said he's going to have kids, they'd be like, absolutely fucking no, he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kev's right, and it is like when you eventually get yourself into a partnership where you go, do you know what, fucking hell, I think we could probably do this. I think, and then you that's what happens. But otherwise, you absolutely just enjoy your money and your time as fucking aches.
Yeah,
and then
right.
and then one day, if you do, because there's no pressure to have kids now, and I hate when people say to Misha all the time, so when you have the next one, and then pressure
yeah.
and to have another
I
one,
get it.
you know.
People are
Oh,
always
yeah,
asking
well,
me.
yeah, time's up.
Yeah, and I feel it. You know,
But I mean, like,
hit 30.
they change people. I mean, I already joked how lazy my daughters were. I couldn't get Soph to tidy her room and do fuck all. My daughter's house is spotless all the time. The kids' stuff is always done. She lost her shit monumentally this week because it was the kids' Easter bonnet competition thing, and she did a Mario-based one for Parker. Top-notch piece of kit. Obviously, the school decided that a parent had done it and gave the victory to one that just had a couple of cotton balls and stuff. So, so she's like, "Rah!" That's the level of parenting she's got to. What's worse is she works at said school.
Right. Okay.
So she's like, absolutely fucking not.
yeah.
She saw what won. That
Yeah,
made
yeah,
it
yeah.
way worse.
That's annoying.
But, and my son-in-law is an absolute boob of a human being. But the pair of them together, she
do it.
forces him to be a parent. He forces her to get her ass to, come on, we've got to do this, blah, 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 blah. Like he sees the future, she does the parenting aspect of it, and then he does the good old-fashioned dad role. They are quite classical in that sense.
Yeah, but just to drum home that there's no, like, it's not, if you can spend the rest of your life not having kids, enjoying your money, building something for yourself guiltlessly. That's absolutely the way to go. I mean, we'll hate you,
But I'll be having a great time.
Yeah.
you'll be having a great time. Yeah, but there should be no pressure. No one should ever pressure someone else into having a kid. We just have a certain perspective on it. That's nice to
Yeah,
talk
of course.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's absolutely no way I would have had another child at my age without the right person.
The partner is key.
Yeah.
I would have. It's been a nightmare about Misha. We're both good, so that we complement each other nicely. You know what I mean? Pick up each other's slack. Yeah. So yeah, anything else before we tie them?
No, I've missed you all.
Yeah, it's nice to be back around the fucking table. God, where the fuck have I been for the last couple of months?
It's time for us to go to the bar at some point soon.
Yes, we must arrange an absolute knees up.
We both have new jobs, you see.
It's supposed to celebrate now, really, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
I need to cut loose.
I've got two. I got in 2 weeks. I'm going out with Deck for an all day, and then a month after that, I'm going for Weymouth for another all day. Oh,
When are you doing Deck?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When are you doing Deck?
Deck is
The bank holiday weekend.
Yes, for Saturday.
I can't do that one because I'm working the Monday and the Friday, so I have got to spend.
Yeah.
Gay.
Yeah,
That's right, but we'll make weekends are pretty liberal at the minute, so let us know what you think.
Yeah, I'll try and.
So George, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Kevin, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for educating us.
Listener, if you enjoyed this episode and you want to leave us a 5-star review, well then why the hell don't you just go and do that?
It's greatly appreciated.
Yeah, click follow on Spotify, leave us a 5-star review. We really appreciate it. Any questions, reach out to us on Instagram at The Steve Kayla Show. George, where can people find you?
I am on Instagram. I'm on YouTube mostly, and I'm on Facebook as The Good Lad Gamer. I play Raid Shadow Legends.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Raid Shadow Legends. Just really
And Kevin, where the hell can people find you?
At my house.
At your house?
generally,
Or
yeah.
just message me if you want to ask Kevin something.
Yeah,
We'll pass
do
on
that.
his number or something.
I'll probably be on Verdansk being terrible because that's back.
Well, just message me and I'll pass on your complaints to Kevin. So that'd be great.
We do so enjoy them.
Yeah. So once again, thank you to Graham's Windows and Doors at grahamswindowsanddoors.co.uk and Paramount Prizes at paramountprizes.co.uk. Really appreciate your support. Listener, we love you. We're back and we'll be back next week. Thank you for listening. Ciao, 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 ciao. Go to some